Hello again, it's me, earthmanbrick, and we're back with another MDF kit. This time we're doing the Celestial Drive-In Theatre. And it comes, let's see the details, so it's 10 MDF sheets, it's for 28 to 32mm scale, and it's number 129 in the City Scenics range. And yeah, it looks pretty damn big. You can see this part here, it's sticking out. That's it there. It goes all the way around. So that's going to sit up a few stories high, and it's got this nice cool looking globe thing. I forget the name of those things. Pretty darn cool though. And I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. So rather than make up this bit, because it makes next to no sense, it's actually got a shed on the back of the thing with a ladder there and a ladder up the back there. But if you were to ever go to a drive-in theatre, the screen is usually set up a good bit higher. So it'll be on stilts or whatever. And because with a drive-in theatre, you would park your cars and you would just tune your radio in to hear the audio from the cinema. And so the cinema screen would have to be a certain height up so that everyone can look over the cars in front of them. So yes, this design here, not overly fond of it, but I think we'll be able to get a fair few decent bits and bobs out of that and cannibalize that to make another project. But we're going to be focusing on this bit wholly and exclusively. So, what are we going to do for a screen instead? Well, I've already made one up here. Here it is. And with the struts here, I've used, what is it, a fireworks stick. Just snapped in two. And then stuck onto pieces of cereal box card. And then these are just wooden stirrers. Bits of card that I've attached to develop a kind of a loose frame. And then I've made up brackets here, which is just folded card, just to act as supports, help hold the whole thing together. And then these are just Lego bricks that I've just made around here, so these feet can come off, because I wasn't entirely sure how I was going to go about all this. I can glue them into place. It does freely stand as well, there's no issues with it falling over really, though it doesn't seem very steady here for some reason. Let me just, there we go. So it is standing up, no problem. And what I've done here is I painted it all this color, and then I took a sheet of A4 paper, tore it up in a few places, and well, first off I folded it in half, then quarters, and then folded it up again, and then unfolded it so I would be able to get lines here in order to weather them up and show a bit of wear and tear. And I PVA glued it on, making sure there was as many air bubbles as possible so that we would get this nice warped effect. And you might be thinking, why have I gone to so much trouble to make this screen? Well, it's because I've invested in a projector. Here it is. And this will sit quite comfortably on top of this part here on the project, so that'll sit there, and it should be able to give out a perfect picture on here. But I've not tested it or anything, so I'll need to figure all that bits out as I go. And what we'll also need is, because you pay for your drive-through cinema, we'll have lots of fences. Fortunately, I've got lots of these ones all pre-made up. Again, this is us just recycling our MDF's empty sprue frames in order to make these bases. And I've got a separate video on how to make fences like this, so you can watch that at your own leisure. But yes, I'm gonna get cracking on with this. See you again soon. Bye for now. Hello again, and we're back. And yes, this is what we have so far of the theatre. And as you can see here, I've gone a little bit off script. I've added on this whole cardboard frame, and I've used the old ladders from one of the War Cradle Scenics kits, so that we can, and I've actually had to cut out a hole here so that the USB stick sticks out. Yes, as you can see, it is fully working with an actual film projector inside the thing. So I'm pretty darn happy with that. We've added in some acetate here for the windows. I've used white ink and a black marker pen in order to make the tiles in there. Yes, we've got a lot of extra tidy up to do. I think I'll just use black marker pen to hide these, what are they called? The laser tags. That's where it's still stuck onto the sprue frame. Speaking of the sprue frames, we've got lots left over. Here we go. Lots of cool shapes and bits. All here. And much of this is for what was the screen there, but we're using this screen instead that we've made up. But yes, loads and loads and loads of great MDF sprue bits. An absolute menagerie of bits and bobs. Well, more bits and bobs. Look at that. Lots of nice ladders. Some very, very cool bits. And yes, I think this will be quite a fun feature to have in, I don't know, like zombie builds, and or like any sort of zombie skirmish game where you've got all the parked cars sitting about. You've got your fences all set up. And yeah, should be a lot of fun. There's the last MDF sprue frame there. I do have a small tub that's half full of push-outs as well. Yeah, absolutely loving this kit so far. And now it's on to the painting. Oh, and I've made it so I've redesigned the lid a little. It's put on a sheet of card there because, as you can see in the picture here, there's a lot of extra slots on the top. So we've taken care of those. I've re-angled these bits ever so slightly so they look a bit more stylish. And that still fits right on top there. No problem. And we've got a little hole there for the projector. And if I pick this up and swish it round, I've cut out an old hole, a bit of wear and tear, so that the fan, because that does put out a fair amount of heat, and I don't want it to accidentally overheat and such. So I've cut out a hole there for that. And yes, we do have lots of card added here as well, just to tidy up those seams, because the seams here looked awful. I've stuck a few little bits of card there up the top. I think I'm just going to have to weather the crap out of those and whittle it down a bit because it's looking rather odd and uneven. Nothing we can't fix. I think one of the absolute spectacles on this piece is this bit at the top here, which I thought I didn't think too much of, but now that I've seen it all up close, it's looking rather grand. Quite like it. Celestial Theatre, I'm not totally enamored with that. I don't hate it, but I could easily replace it if need be, but yeah, the rest of it all holds up. There were a couple of projectors that you can put in any of these slots here, but I decided against making those because we've got an actual projector right here. So, we can now enjoy Fritz Lang's Metropolis in all its original glory, which is pretty cool. as well as a whole host of other movies. But I'm going to go paint this up. Not quite sure how I'm going to go about it, but I figured I might add some extra wear and tear and details as well. But more on that soon. Bye for now. Hello again, and we're back. So, here's what we started off with. And here's how it's looking. Yes, it's all painted up, all done and dusted. I'm very happy with the result. So we've gone with a blue, well, more like a turquoise, an orange kind of accent kind of colours. On the top here we've used copper for that bit. We've not actually painted that, we've just weathered it all up. We've added tufts, we've added our green mulch, and we've added the homemade sponge block as well. You can see it more prominently on the top here. And then we've weathered the absolute crap out of it using inks. Oh, and this bit, funnily enough, is the end of the USB stick that I cut off initially when I was fitting it. Roof slides off, there's the projector, and look, it actually works. It's actually projecting a proper movie right now. Bloody love technology. And if we put that back on, if we go around the back, you can see I've actually added here. Let me just back up a bit. So you can see there, there's the electrical boxes and stuff here. That was originally a different kind of a box. That was like an electrical box. And what I've done is I've added on these pre-painted vents to the back because there was some signage there. Didn't quite like what it was saying. I just thought, you know what, just cover it up with vents. Don't go in with everything else. And it's worked a charm. There we have the shutters, which is just silver paint. Worked a treat. And there's the side of the building there. He's very happy with how this is. Cracking build. Do I recommend it? Absolutely. When it comes to making this housing and stuff here, you might struggle with that if you're trying to add on to the kit, but if I can do it, you can do it. And I think it's turned out pretty darn nicely. And yes, we've got an actual working miniature cinema. So that'll be great for tabletop games, for adding that extra level of immersion, I think. And yes, the movie I'm watching here, just out of curiosity, is Stephen King's The Mist by Frank Darabont. Absolutely brilliant film. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend. But yes, that's all I've got for you today, so thanks again for watching, and bye.